Roll call.
Jane, yes. Deja?
Yes. Steve?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes. So first on the agenda is the acknowledgement of our junior high cross-country team. Probably why we have one of the biggest turnouts. One of them. Full time, we have more than just that, but our coaches, Mrs. Irvin, and Mrs. Scott, thank you for coming this evening. Tell us a bit about your team.
So we had an awesome year this year. We had 35 kids on our roster. When we started the program, it's a 7-year program. This is my 6-year coaching, and we had 19 to begin with when we first started. So our program has really jumped quite a bit, enough to get us assistant coach, which is awesome. The boys had an awesome season. They won conference, got first at Robinson, got third at sectionals. We'll qualify them as a team to go to state. So they're our first cross-country team to qualify for state. And they got 15th overall, which is really, really awesome. They did amazing. It's a tough course. They all had their personal best records except for the sectional was better, but they all ran amazing. We had TJ Raditz as an 8th grader. He was in 51st place, which is the highest rank we have had, and this is the first year they've had 4 classes. So he is the highest runner we've had for 4 classes, for 3A, which is great. And then the girls had a great year as well. We qualified 2 individual girls for state. Emery Spicer, she finished 8th place, which earned her a medal. It's our first medal we've ever won at cross country state. She does currently hold 3 records: the 7th grade fastest time, 8th grade fastest time, and overall fastest time. So she, leaves the junior high with her name in the record books quite a bit. You want to go ahead and just have them introduce themselves?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll start down there with the teacher.
Tell us what grade you're into.
I'm in 8th grade, and my name's TJ Raditz.
8th grade, Carson Fox.
My 8th grade, Alexander Fox.
8th grade, Zayden Drake. 7th grade, Mason Overbeck.
7th grade, Will Percival.
7th grade, Tristan Smith. 8th grade, Emery Spicer. 8th grade, Landon Miller. 6th grade, Maddox Wyckoff. 6th grade, Jared Quinlan.
Well, congratulations. You guys did great this year. You 8th graders, we're looking forward to seeing you run at high school next year. So you're going to go from how many miles to 3 miles? It's 2 miles at junior high, right?
2 to 3.
So you're going to have to add a little extra training, but we'll be watching for you.
They're a really good, hardworking group of kids. Yeah, we have a lot of fun with them.
Adding another mile will be hard for them. They'll be fully pros.
Parents and coaches are doing a great job too, because I have the privilege to drive them a couple times on the bus, and when they leave the bus, they thank me every time they walk out the door. Now, I'm sure that's probably programmed by some people. Maybe not. I don't know how it all works for sure. I think that goes a long way and says a lot about the whole process, not just winning on the course, but winning in other areas too. So thank you, coaches. Thank you, parents. And most importantly, thank you, kiddos, for.
And we did have a group of girls too that got honored by IDSA this year for their sportsmanship. At one of our races, there was a young man who was very far behind, and they jumped in and ran the rest of the race with him, so he wouldn't be by himself. So that just shows you the character of these kids, and a lot of it has to do with the parents. They're just really good kids.
That's wonderful. And kids, make sure you thank your coaches and your parents, because they have a lot on their plates, and they have to run and drive you to all of your activities that we want you to be involved in. So they need a big thank you as well. So round of applause. Without getting your picture taken, so you need to come forward and Michelle will take the picture.
And then you can go through and shake.
Oh, no, give me some of that.
Go through and shake hands first.
Keep up the good work.
So before we move on past the junior high, I would also like to acknowledge that I do believe there's a surprise outside. Did you see it already? No? I believe
It
that,
wasn't set up because it's raining now.
okay, we were gonna have set up the tent, that the parents came up with an idea to donate a tent to the cross-country team, for junior high cross-country track.
Thanks.
So we also jumped in, Mr. jumped in and helped pay for it, and the sports backers helped pay for it. I don't know if Craig's here tonight yet. He was possibly coming. But anyway, I just want to say thank you to the parents for that, and it's out there.
Woo, exciting.
So it's all wet, you can take it home. I don't know what that is, but anyway, thank you parents for helping out with that, and look forward to that in the future. The goal was to have that before the end of the season, and the timing on it just didn't get here, but they worked hard to try.
Yes,
Okay.
that's awesome, thank you.
We'll make use of it next season.
Our tent never says our names, people try to find us like, it's the red tent that doesn't say, I mean, now it does, yeah. Thank you.
Let's keep going.
Our next introduction is the EHS soccer team. I guess we had a pretty phenomenal season. So soccer coach,
Yeah,
Mr. Arnie, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, definitely a successful season. I think we all went into this season thinking we would be at least more successful than what we had been, but I think we surprised ourselves as well as everyone. I think the last 3 seasons combined, senior year, they've won 4 games combined over the last 4 seasons, or 3 seasons. So going from that to 14 wins was a pretty big surprise. So it was fun just talking to other coaches, referees, before and after games. Just like, this is just not Effingham soccer. This is nothing like we've seen. So definitely a lot to be proud of, not only with the wins, but just the attitude, the teamwork, the chemistry that we had. We set some harsher, maybe not harsher, but some tighter expectations around just wanted to be a high character team. So punishments for language, for talking bad about your teammates, any of those kind of things. And so some people got pretty good at push-ups and burpees by the end of the year. But it's cool to see. I'm not saying who. Yeah, it was really cool. So yeah, last year we scored 34 goals combined throughout the season, and this year we scored 74. So just a tremendous improvement. Michael and Camilo both were named first team All-Apollo this year, which is quite an achievement. Michael scored 34 goals this season, which led all of the Apollo Conference as a sophomore. And Camilo led the team in assists with, I think, the second most goals too. Is that right? You remember? Yeah. You would remember that. But beyond that, we had 10 different goal scorers this year, as opposed to 6 from last year. So it wasn't just, like, you could just see the success from start to finish. And even the amount of saves for the goalie, which shows that we had better defense than last year's. I think last year we had like 160 total saves as opposed to 80. So it was like defense was improved, the offense was improved, goalie was improved. It was just an all-around team improvement this year. So as you can see, I could talk about this for a long time. So I'll digress now, but yeah, a lot to be proud of for sure.
How many seniors, and do you have most of your team coming back?
Only 2 seniors, so Aiden Hanks and Xander Marler. So we'll be sad to see them go, but a lot of returners, which is exciting.
Excellent. Thank you for coming. So I don't know where the line of kids start. You start on this side and work your way this way. Can you introduce yourselves and tell us what year you are in school?
I'm a freshman.
I'm Gage Worth, I'm a junior. I'm Russell Rod, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Ina Mapes, I'm a sophomore.
Sky Robinson, I'm a junior. Alberto Zaragoza, I'm a sophomore.
Daniel Angel, sophomore.
Cole Worth, I'm a junior.
Xander Moyle, senior.
Gabe Custer, junior. Sam Spicer, junior. Aiden Hanks, junior. Kendrick Sanchez, junior.
Kai Stanfield, freshman. Brady Wilson, freshman.
Will Hagerstrom, freshman. Brady Paddock, freshman. Michael Sefton, sophomore.
I'm a sophomore. Eduardo Tespo, junior. Sebastián Simón, sophomore.
Congratulations. I'll give you the same speech. Make sure you thank your parents and your coaches. They do a lot for you, so we're appreciative of you guys, but make sure that you let your parents know that too. So we'll have you come around, start at this side and make your way around. We'll shake hands with you and then we'll get a picture.
Sorry.
Okay. At this time, we'd like to recognize any visitors. I think again, we do have some government, Mr. Hammer's government class here this evening. Is this your first time tuning? I feel like I see some repeat faces, but maybe not. All right, first time this year. Okay, sports. Okay, so you all are probably seniors. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves.
I'm Spencer Fox. I'm Charlie Ring.
I'm Abe Banks.
Okay, Baker.
Calvin Booth.
Cindy Wisnet.
Faith Phillips.
Welcome.
Baldwin. Mackenzie Smith.
Oh.
Caleb Moody. Finley House.
Lindy Calmer.
This was a popular meeting to come to.
Ellie Macklin.
I hate that you guys have to stand up the whole time.
Chairs and.
You can say,
Here's some chairs over here.
Here's a couple chairs, and there's some chairs in the front.
Andy could sign your sheet, you guys could leave.
Are there any members of the audience that wish to address the board?
Now, that's
I believe we'll move on then to the financial report.
All right, so we're looking at a 2.9% increase over last year with a net fund balance of $999,029.26. Operating funds, we're looking at a 3.23% increase over last year with a net total of $23,142,475.29. For revenue in the ed fund, local revenue, $7,395,993.65. State revenue, $617,978.21. Federal revenue, $128,508.78. Those expenses over $5,000 are listed in your packet. Recommendation would be to reimburse the Imprest account in the amount of $5,405.06 and the payment of bills in $1,185,674.06.
Okay. Are there any questions for Mrs. Baker? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the financial report to reimburse the Imprest account in the amount of $5,405.06 and the payment of bills in the amount of $1,185,674.06.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Andrew, second by Steve, roll call.
Desha.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Jane, yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Inside you'll have the minutes from the last meeting, the cafeteria report, student teachers, fundraisers, and field trips. On the student teacher list, we have two. One will be placed at Central for part of the year and at the junior high for part of the year, and that is in the spring. And another place at the high school in the English department for the spring semester. Fundraisers, we have the junior high track and field team selling instant lunch noodles from November 2nd to March 1st to raise money for team snacks. The junior high book club is selling suckers. Girls track, EHS girls track selling sport drinkware to raise funds for meals and part of the meat awards. The EHS Facts Club selling candy canes. EHS National Honor Society, chocolate bars. The Central PTO is having a readathon. And the Central Library PTO is having a book fair. And those dates are spread out throughout the year. If you'll take note of that in your packet. Field trips. It looks like we have the junior high musical group going to the Fox Theater on December 15th after school. And the Central Grade School fourth graders would like to go to the Wigwag Skate and Event Center in Terre Haute on April 10th and 11th. Are there any questions regarding the consent agenda? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Motion
Second.
by Desha, second by Steve, roll call.
Desha.
Yes. Steve?
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Jane, yes.
Next on the agenda is correspondence. I have a thank you note from the Weibarger family. Dear Unit 40 board and staff, thank you for the great, beautiful potted plant in memory of my father-in-law. Your kindness and generosity is greatly appreciated. I'm blessed to work here. Kathy Weibarger. All right, next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
Okay, first item up is the FOIA report. We had one this past month. Really, truly, it's one that hits a lot of school districts, I do believe. Procure, I believe it was Procure is the company, just seeking information about job titles, wages, salaries, things of that nature of all employees at Central Grade School. So, yeah, I don't know if somebody's collecting a barrage of information. We just take care of them when they ask for them, give them what they deserve. Unfortunately, we've got 3 in the last week that are pretty standard to this as well. So, enrollment, total enrollment as of October 31st is 2,309 students, which is 20 more students than last month, but it is down about 86 from last year. So that part's not good, but hopefully in the coming months, we're working on things that attract more people to this district, which I do believe we have in the works. And the last item that I have on the superintendent's report is that I would like to take a moment, honor and appreciate our school board members. Last, the 15th, is School Board Members Day, which was last week. So if you don't mind, give them a round of applause for what they do. I appreciate them because they still get, in my time, maybe some other honor before me, haven't got paid. So, I don't think that's probably changing anytime soon. That's it for me.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, the pay is overwhelming. Next on the agenda is new business. And the first item is the approval of the property sale agreement. Do you want to?
I can give some updates on that.
Okay.
We've been approached, of course, this has been, I don't even know, 3, 4, maybe 6 months going. Approached from the city, tied in with Ryan Eagle and Effingham Showcase project proposal that they're out trying to drum up some support to help with that. And we were approached to potentially sell the property out by the interstate, that gets known as the Schwarman property out on Schwarman Street, 25 acres. We've agreed at this point right now to selling that to the city. It was bought from the city years ago. It was bought for a lot less than what we're selling it back to them for. So we've done a good job there, our diligence, I think. Selling it back for $70,000 an acre, it's 25 acres, which would be a sum of about $1.7 million, 1.75. But we have contingencies written into that, and many of the contingencies surround the fact that we expect them to have a significant lump sum of money raised before technically taking over the property. So this is just an agreement to put them in the driver's seat, because one of the things that they told us was they had not been in a position to where they could tell people that they were approaching about helping fund this project where the site was going to be. So now for the next at least until December 31st of 2024, they have an opportunity to raise, and just so you know, our expectation is that they raise $18 million and be able to show us that they have $18 million in the bank in order to purchase this property from us. We wish them the best of luck, because again, this was not an easy decision for this board. Probably a little easier for me because I've not been around the community as long as they have. But I like the idea of a sports complex coming in right next to our current sports complex with the idea of us being able to share. And just so you know, the projection of what they're looking at is 5 AstroTurf softball fields, 1 AstroTurf baseball field, a dome that's going to stand about 34, 35 feet tall, to where they'll be able to put 2 full-size baseball fields in it, facing each other, or potentially pull that, or not pull that, but throw in, I think it's 3 or 4 basketball courts could go on top of that field surface. And then on the east end of it, there would be about 5 volleyball courts. Also tied to it, I think the hospital's heavily involved and interested in being out there, so they could put a, I don't even know what it could just be, a satellite office or satellite service out there as well. Could be some training facility things going in and things of that nature. So anyway, with that said, in discussions, we feel if they can raise that money and they can get that project to go, we support that. We would love to be a part of it. We're also working on an agreement with Ryan Eagle and that group for usage of the facility once it would be built. And then, of course, if for some reason they're not able to follow through with all the contingencies that we've asked for, then we would be in a position that we would retain that property. So therefore, you've heard some discussions about us doing some facility research and thinking about possible places to build and things of that nature. We would have that property to possibly build on if we wanted to go out there, if for some reason it didn't work out for them. So again, our hope is that everything goes, and we're supporting that, or the board wouldn't make the decision that they're making tonight if they move forward with this. I will also say that the city council has this same document. We've on their agenda for tomorrow night. So if it's executed tonight by us, and then tomorrow night, we'll move forward. The only piece to that you need to keep in mind is there could be some changes to this document recommended by the city council after tomorrow night's meeting. If that were the case, then they would need to reapproach us if this board approved what this contract states right now. So, questions from the board, any thoughts? I think that pretty well sums up
I think that
where we've
we
been.
have been in a lot of discussions behind closed doors and deciding whether or not this was a good move for Unit 40, but we feel like it's a great move for the community as a whole. So they do have to meet several contingencies before we would release the land to them. Okay, any other comments or questions? I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the property sale agreement for the property listed at PIN 0311030076, consisting of 25 plus or minus acres located on Schwarman Street, Effingham, Illinois, for $1,750,000 to the city of Effingham, if all seller contingencies are met by December 31st, 2024.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Steve. Roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jean, yes, Desha, yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is the 2023 tax levy approval. The hearing was held earlier for the 2023 levy payable 2024. Are there any questions regarding the levy? I'm looking for a motion and a second to adopt the 2023 tax levy as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
I'll second it.
second by Jane. Roll call.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jean, yes. Desha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Looking, pardon my language. Next on the agenda is the 2023 report card data presentation by Mrs. Beck. I trapped myself in there, sorry. Here's a handout for you.
Thank you.
couple of highlights for you from the school report card. Every year we make a formal presentation to the school board on our Illinois school report card data. The data covers a lot of things. It covers operating expenditures, it covers staff, it covers students, both enrollment, demographics, and then academic data as well. So I'll just take you on a little bit of a tour of the sheet. So our enrollment has, and you can see, we've been tracking the data since 2006, most of this. So you can see that we have been declining with our enrollment. And that is actually a statewide trend, not just an Effingham trend. That they're noticing statewide, there is just in general a decrease in birth rate. Our low income population has increased. I don't know as far as next year goes what to anticipate because right now the lunch program, the way that we collect that low income data will change a little bit next year. So we'll just wait and see what that data looks like next year, see if we need to make some adjustments to the way we currently collect it. Another piece of data to note is our English language learners. If you look just generally over time, you'll see that in very small increments, our English language learner population has increased over time. But then if you go and look at our 22 to our 23, you'll know a pretty big uptick, I guess, in English language learner enrollment. We anticipate next year seeing the same type of an uptick, maybe possibly even greater. And we are tracking, just like with the state trend and the national trend there, with influx of not just domestic citizens with English language learner students, but then also those from outside of the country come in, trying to deliver services to help them learn, help the students learn to speak the English language. The next thing that I take you over to is the 3-year teacher retention rate. The state hasn't always tracked that rate. So they started tracking that in 2014, and you'll see we were at 90%. And then we, over time, took a bit of a decrease, but we are back up. I'm pretty pleased to show that in 2023 last year, we were at 92%, which is even higher than where we were at in 2014. And this is again a state trend that they are seeing more people go into the field of education now. I think there's been a lot of effort in a lot of different ways to try to fill those open positions, whereas in a lot of previous years, it's been pretty inflexible sometimes in trying to get quality people into the classroom, but now there are a lot of options for us to bring quality people into the classroom now. And then our operating expense per pupil, you'll see last year we spent, and that's always based on even a year before that. So we were at $13,000 per pupil, and the state average was at $17,900. So we are well below the state average there. The next item would be our graduation rates. If you remember last year, whenever I did the report card data, I told you we were working on trying to get that data more accurate. And so we feel a lot more comfortable with the data that we have this year, that it's much more accurate. We've worked with two agencies, basically the IASA, and then we work with the state board to try to make sure that our data is more accurate as it gets reported out to the public. There are always things that we're going to find that we'll have to fine tune, but that one I'm pleased that we have that one pretty well squared away. And we are above the state average in our 4, 5, and 6-year graduation rate. I also like to see that rate increase over from 4 to 5 to 6 years. The traditional route is 4 years. The student graduates in 4 years. And so we're above the state average there. But not everybody fits that traditional mold. Some have to take an extra semester. Students with special needs that they can go until their 22nd birthday. And what I am really always proud of with our school district is that we don't just invest in our kids for 4 years, we invest in them for the entire time that they're with us. And I think our data shows that. Our attendance is well above the state average, it typically is. So we appreciate everybody's efforts in getting kids to school because that makes a huge difference in just their general daily lives. And let's see, the class size average is a little less than the state average. And so that's always good to keep that class size low because that allows the teacher then to focus on the kids in the classroom. If you go down to that bottom bar there, so I'll take you back in time. Not all of us want to go back in time, but I'll take you back in time to when we had our tech outage last year. And we had to make a massive shift to paper testing. And that was a bit of an undertaking. And so I'm happy to show that we tested 100% of our students even under those conditions. And we did very well. That IAR is the Illinois Assessment of Readiness. PLA is English Language Arts, so it's a combination of reading and writing that the students do. And that is every student grades 3 through 8 is what that data reflects. And so you'll see that we're just under the state average there. On growth, we're real close to the state average. And both of those pieces of data are kind of interpreted differently. So the first piece of data is on just, did they hit the mark the state wanted them to hit? The other one is, did that student grow from one year to the next? And so we want to see, we want to see high numbers in both places. And then on the math, we were above the state average, and that's grades 3 through 8, all grade levels, all students. And then our growth was above the state average as well. Another thing that I think helped with that is that we added math interventionists a couple of years ago. We added 2, and then we just added a 3rd one last year, and I think that's helped tremendously with our students being able to perform well in the math area. And then for the high school on the SAT, that's 11th graders that take that. We are under the state average in both areas. We have more growth to go in the math area than we do in the ELA area. And I know that you're aware that with the summative designations that the state gives out, they compile a bunch of different data elements together to do a summative designation. And we'll have some things that we'll be putting into place because of that. And so that kind of leads me into the summative designation area, just so that everybody can understand. I'm going to make sure I got my dates and my numbers right here. So commendable was the designation that was given to Southside Central and the junior high. And then we have a targeted designation for the high school, and that's the first time the high schools had that designation, and that is for the subgroup of children with disabilities. And so part of the data that's used is that SAT data to determine your designation. And so we'll have some work to do in that area to try to determine what are some things we can put into place to help the building kind of grow in that area. And so this year is considered a planning year, and then for 3 years later, there'll be implementation years, and there are grant dollars that do go with that. And we'll have to submit plans and things like that to the state. But the positive aspect is it's giving us some dollars to try to put some programs and some things in place that'll last beyond, and it will go for 3 years, but those programs and things that we put into place can last much longer than that. The other piece of data that I wanted to kind of brag on is back on this sheet right here, is the ISA, and it's in the bottom right corner. The ISA is the science test. The students take it in grades 5th, 8th, and 11th, and we are well above the state average, and that was really something to be proud of. We are well above the state average there. So, do you have any questions for me? Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, Mrs. Beck.
Any questions?
And I'm looking for a motion, a second, to accept the 2023 Illinois report card data.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Tisha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, she's doing the next one.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Stay.
Next on the agenda is the approval of computer science classes to be offered at EHS during the 2024-25 school year.
Sure, so we currently have one course, it's a web design course that qualifies by the state as a computer science course. But we wanted to be able to do our offerings and then also have them kind of flow into a community college or for your college degree, different pathways. And so this is really where we're starting, it's not where we're ending. And the technology industry just in general is going to morph and change over the years anyway. And so we're hoping that this will be a good base for us to begin. And then we'll continue to look at other courses that we can offer and fold into the mix for students to choose to take. So you'll see computer programming will be offered for a semester. And then we've got computer gaming and design, which we're hoping students will, little piques and interest there for a semester. Cybersecurity for a semester. And then the one that's a full year is computer science principles, which will give just a general rundown of just the computer science industry. I'll touch fingers in a lot of areas there. So those are the 4 courses that we'd like to add to the course offerings for the future.
Okay. Are there any questions regarding the course offerings?
That's the initial plan, and then plan to expand it as.
Yeah, we'll expand it, but we wanted to just get these
Right.
4 courses off the ground and then start to look at aligning those. We've already kind of got some alignments anyway, but aligning these courses to after you leave us, what's your pathway then at for a 1-year certificate versus a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree or a master's or whatever. We'd like to set students up so that they can choose some pathways that'll lead them into college and then into the job force.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the computer science class offerings as presented for EHS, starting with the 24-25 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jean, yes, Desha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you for your
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is Effingham High School graduation date. I think this is the earliest we've ever talked about this.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So, in discussions with Mr. Roberts last year, and I've had these discussions in every district I've ever been in, a lot of times we wait, and I think that really puts families behind the 8 ball, especially if you're not, if you're coming from far distances and you need to get airplane tickets and things of that nature. So, in conversations with Mr. Roberts, he agreed and decided we would throw this out there this year, see how it works, and hope that this is a trend that we can do in the future. So, Effingham High School is recommending that we set the 2024 graduation date as May 19th at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. We're requesting to set this date now as we're trying to accommodate for families who are making plans around this date. This is especially true for families who are expecting guests from distances that have greater travel arrangements. We will be able to establish the date for final exams at a later date after the risk of using emergency days has been reduced and the last day of school is established. May 19th will work no matter the number of emergency days we may need to use, within reason, of course.
So we could still be in school after
Maybe
graduation.
it's snow it all this year.
Is that what you're saying?
We would.
Okay, I think that would be fine for seniors. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion, a second, to set the 2024 graduation date as May 19th, 2024 at 2 p.m.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
I'll second it.
second by Jane, roll call. Yes.
Jean, yes, Desha, yes, Steve.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the memorandum of agreement for the Fleet Tech Mission position.
That's basically what we're doing there is we have a gentleman that will be retiring. We don't have his letter yet, but he's pretty much told us that it's coming. Gonna help us get the school year started. He's been with the school district for a long time. We have trouble finding an assistant mechanic. At this point right now, the person in that role is the mechanic. When that mechanic retires, we want to be in a position that we are now moving towards, and we will advertise at some point, to hire this position that will replace the mechanic and the assistant mechanic. So those two positions will leave the job description and the option to be employed by anymore, and we will have a fleet technician. Why did we go to a fleet technician? We went to a fleet technician because things have changed over the years, and we don't use a lot of wrenches. Not that we don't use some, we do, but a lot of the work on our buses is done by places that have computerized information that we can hook our buses into. Unfortunately, it's done that way. We could gravitate that direction maybe, depending on the hire that we get in this role, and put us in a position hopefully to look at maybe having some of that housed ourselves more so than what we're doing right now. Step one, step two, and then we go from there. Step one is you approve this. Step two will be I'll bring a job description to you at the next board meeting that you can approve that. We would post this whenever you're comfortable. If you're comfortable, if you approve this tonight, we can get this posted soon and try to move forward with finding a good applicant to fill that position.
Okay.
So that's the history behind this.
Any questions? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the MOA with the EESPA for the fleet technician position to start with the 2024-25 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Jane, yes. Chad? Tisha?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda is the memorandum of agreement for provisions of outdoor gear.
So what we've got here is, and these memorandums of agreements are agreed upon with the union leadership for either the ECTA or the EESPA, which EESPA, which is the non-cert union, was the first one we just did. This one is also for that same category. This is for the use of, or allowing us the opportunity to get custodians and maintenance workers, hats, gloves, cold weather boots, some steel-toed shoes for maintenance workers that are out. There's a lot of reasons behind why I'm going this direction. A lot of it's to be more preventative on the front end on keeping them healthy, keeping them safe, and making sure that they've got the proper equipment to be able to do that. So that's where this came about.
Okay, any questions, comments? I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the MOA with the EESPA for provisions of outdoor gear for maintenance and custodial employees starting with the 2023-24 school year. Anyone?
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Tisha? Yes. Steve?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane, yes.
Okay, next is an MOU, memorandum of understanding with the ECTA and the EESPA to amend the current school year calendar for the solar eclipse day on April 8th, 2024.
Yeah, I'll just read this.
Okay, so will now be, April 8th, 2024 will now be a non-attendance, non-employee workday. If no emergency days are used, here is, if no emergency,
Days are needed.
if no emergency days are needed, here is the end of the calendar. Replacement for this day is May 17th. That's added to the calendar. May 15th becomes a full semester attendance day. May 16th becomes a half day, and May 17th becomes a teacher institute day. So we'll just extend out. And the reason for that is that we're expecting a lot of traffic congestion and bus interruptions on that day if history repeats itself from the last solar eclipse day. Is there any discussion?
I was approached by several teachers at the high school that attended the last solar eclipse trip to Carbondale, I believe they went. I don't know if any of you kiddos were on that trip or heard, but I think it took them 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours to get home. It was not an enjoyable trip home. It was great to see the solar eclipse there, but there's been a lot of advertisement that our high school parking lot is the place to be. And if everybody goes to our high school parking lot, I don't want our high school students on that parking lot with everybody from the area. So that's why, and then the congestion, I do believe, of getting our students home safely has warranted us to be in this position. I appreciate our staff looking at that based on the experience that they experienced. It's interesting because I've had conversations with people in the area about this long before we did the calendar. It didn't seem to be a problem then. And that's continuing to escalate. I do believe the city's doing more things. There's a lot more drumming up now, but it would be quite a bit bigger deal.
I think we're a little closer to the epicenter, right?
Yeah. So I told that group, we would set a calendar, just as we did, and we would revisit it, we would spend some time, make sure we make the right decision, and this is the decision that we collective group came back with.
Okay, any questions? Comments? Okay, I'm looking for a motion, a second, to approve the MOA with the ECTA and the EESPA for the current school calendar
Motion.
Current school calendar be changed to reflect April 8th is a non-attendance day and a non-employee work day. May 15th becomes a full student attendance day. May 16th becomes a half day. May 17th becomes a teacher institute day. If no emergency days are needed prior to May 17th. Motion by Steve.
Second.
Second by Andrew. Roll call.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Disha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the discussion and potential of approval to purchase the backhoe based on the bids that were received.
So we received one bid from Burpees and Mattoon, and that was for $129,850. We did kind of look into some other options, and that would be to buy a used backhoe for approximately $65,000. And then we did throw a third option in there for you guys to review, which was suggested by Todd Taylor, our head of maintenance, a mini excavator and a skid steer for approximately $80,000 for both of those two.
I think 1,000 would be for used or?
They would be used. New would come in more like $100,000.
Okay? And Todd's here. Todd, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, how this all started, I assume you all know as far as the backhoe got ordered over the summertime with our maintenance guy. I didn't think it would get to this point as far as talking about this kind of money on it. But after I saw you guys were willing to look at a brand new backhoe price as far as, in the 120, 130 range, not that a backhoe would be bad, but it's kind of like, living in the past a little bit, a mini X and a skid steer would be a lot more efficient for us. I mean, I'll take whatever we can get. Backhoe would be good, but there's just a lot more options that we can do with the skid steer and mini X. Like with the mini X, when we did the new scoreboard on the field, our guys did that in-house. We rented a mini X. It's a lot quicker than backhoe, things of that nature. The backhoe, big thing that we use that for is when we get major snow, we have nowhere to bring it, so we dump it in the retention pond. The skid steer can take care of that. Skid steers have a lot more options as far as attachments on them and stuff that a backhoe does not. And they're easier to move around as opposed to us driving the backhoe around. We probably don't have a trailer to move the backhoe. Those two we can park inside. Backhoe would probably be iffy because this backhoe would be considerably larger than what we had. So I was just looking at it as far as if we're willing to spend that kind of money or venture to look at that kind, why not get two good pieces of equipment that we can do a lot more with as opposed to one. So,
Be a bit more versatile.
right.
Sounds like
Is the 80 to 100 like total, or is that?
I've talked to a vendor who's in Sourcewell. We are a part of Sourcewell. Can I say this? Yeah. Okay. brand new Bobcat, excavator and skid steer, we're looking at 105
Total.
total. So, and I mean, another way that I look at this is usually when we buy transportation stuff, I mean, I know this isn't transportation, but you know, as far as work trucks, dump trucks, things along that nature, we typically go brand new. You don't know what you're gonna get used, I mean,
Yeah.
so. I don't know.
What's the lifespan of those?
If we had those,
More than 5 years?
it'll be longer than I'll be working here. And I plan on doing it till retirement, so.
Thanks for throwing that in.
Yeah.
Do they-
With brand new like that, and that would be the same way with the backhoe, you know, brand new, you've just got a lot better chance longevity.
Yeah.
With new equipment as you do used, I mean, the lift that we bought, the 60-foot JLG for the junior high and all that, that was great, you know, but I have blown some hydraulic hoses, you know, and things like that of that nature, where we got to call in the repair guy, you know, with it being a used piece of equipment, but there was no way we were gonna buy that piece of equipment brand new, 'cause that's a whole nother level. So that's just an example as far as less chances for error with it being new. And it would probably be warranted for how long, I do not have that information right now. So but that's something we can get.
So if we look at exploring option 3, we don't necessarily need to make that decision tonight, or
You can.
do we make the decision?
I think so,
Or,
yeah.
or do we need to get bids or anything like that?
We have to bid it because it's through a vendor or a cooperative.
Since we're a member of Sourcewell,
Part of that.
Okay.
right,
And they bid, that's what that cooperative does.
Gotcha.
Is does the bidding already.
and with being a member of that, you get cheaper prices, am I correct on that, Andy, usually? So,
That's the benefit of being part of it.
right.
Any discussion? I mean, I like the idea of 2 pieces of equipment, that's more flexible than one big piece, and we would be spending less on 2. If it still meets the needs, how often would we have to get a big backhoe? Would we ever have to rent one for any reason?
Honestly, I don't think we would, and another nice thing about this is, you know, when there's something that we would need like that, the park district has had something like that, where, you know, like in a pinch, we borrow it, or like even shared a piece of equipment, you know, like kind of help each other out. And so even with them having the same kind of skid steer we would, if we needed an attachment, we could borrow it or that kind of thing. And anything major that we're gonna do with a big backhoe like that is typically gonna be done construction-wise by like Caddis's or someone along those lines. You know, where like a Mini X is more our category, where we're just digging up a water line or fixing a water line in front of the soccer shed that broke, going to the soccer sprinklers, you know, things along that nature, where we don't have to have that big of a backhoe. But the Mini X, less of a mess, less to repair, grass flies after that, things of that nature. So,
Okay.
a lot more mobile.
Are we ready to make a decision?
I am. Get steer Mini X.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then I'm looking for a motion, a second, to approve the district to move forward with option 3 to purchase a mini excavator and a skid steer for $105,000
Whatever I emailed you guys, yeah, sorry, I don't have that paperwork.
with an anticipated delivery date. Do we feel as if we can get it in 30 days?
It's on the clock right now.
Okay, to replace the backhoe that was involved in the accident in the summer of 2023. Motion, I'll
Motion.
make the motion.
Second.
Second by Andrew, roll call.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
June, Anastasia. Yes. Steve.
Yes.
Okay, the next on the agenda is the first reading of press policy, posting following policies for review and public comments. It's 220, 2110, 2120, 2200, 2220, 350, 410, 430, 460, 490, 4130, 4160, 4170, 530, 550, 590, 5120, 5150, 5190, 5200, 5210, 5220, 5250, 5330, 615, 620, 630, 650, 660, 665, 6230, 6270, 6280, 750, 760, 770, 7160, 7165, 7190, 7250, 7270, 7285, 7290, 7345, and 830. Those are all in your board packet. And there's no motion. Okay, next on the agenda is to establish a facilitating team.
The purpose of this is we've come out of the facility research information from the LDD architects for the Clio research that they provided for us, I believe, at the last board meeting. So it's next step time. Next step would be to put a group of people together to start the conversation on what matches their data to our needs, what desires we have moving forward. So through this process, they have some folks that I was able to sit down with. Kelsey and I both sat down with them. And they encouraged us, the next step would be to put a facilitating team together. What that is at this point right now, we've sent out an email, or I've sent out an email to several different organizations and to all the board members and the administrators in this district, asking them to provide names of people that they feel would have a heavy stake in us progressing with a vision for our facilities in the school district. What's happening is those names are coming into me, and they're coming in at not a quick rate, but a very, very high volume. There will be lots more, I'm sure. I tried telling this company, these folks, that we'll probably have well over 100 people, and they're like, that's okay. So then we take that group and we try to narrow it down to 15 to 20, representing lots of different areas. And that group will start talking about taking some of the data, taking some of the financial resources and opportunities and things of that nature that can be available for the district to move forward with a potential facility project.
Any discussion? Everyone read the letter. Please bring your recommendations to Mr. Johnson. I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the superintendent, Mr. Johnson, to conduct a procedure to establish a facilitating team to aid the district with a vision and support future facility upgrades and enhancements.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Steve. Roll call.
Jill,
Yes.
Jenny, yes, Session,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Good work. So sorry you all have had to stand in the back of the room all evening. We're finally to the part on the agenda.
Should have switched that, that's on me. Throw daggers at me, that's all right.
So, our next on the agenda is to approve a hire for the Effingham High School Athletic Director effective July 1st, 2024.
Absolutely.
I'll turn that over to you.
So we started this process, I don't know how long ago, but long story short, we went through a process, obviously, with several applications. We ended up with about 20 applications for the high school athletic director position, which I was highly impressed with. It says a lot about this district, in my opinion. It says a lot about the future and the interests of our students and the growth and the vision that maybe we're looking at. Narrow that down to about 5 or 8 for the committee to interview them. Took that 5 or 8 and narrowed it down to, 3, I believe we got down to 3 with board input and our committee's input. And to be honest with you, tonight we're going to hire our number 1 and our number 2 from that. One of them's going to be at the high school, one of them's going to be at the junior high. So we'll start with the high school portion. So can I introduce you, or do you introduce you?
No, go ahead.
I would like to take this opportunity to ask Matt Thompson to step forward and be the next athletic director. He's, I don't know how many years he's got left in his career, but share that, but the previous athletic director was in there for about 28 or 30. I don't think Mike.
I actually interviewed with Mr. Waltman back in 2002 for the varsity basketball position here at Effingham High School.
Yeah.
So I but that's how long, and I think he's been there a little bit even before then, so.
I go way back with Mike and the time that I've been up here, the Weston coach. I've had an opportunity to meet his family, not the boys so much, but his wife. They're an incredible family. They're highly respected in this area. They work hard. They're devoted when they do the things that they do. They care a lot about those boys that are sitting in here right now, as this is a huge move for them to come into this community. We're gonna welcome them with arms like they've never seen before, because I've been through their shoes and I know what it's like to move my kids about their age, and it's tough. But I commend them for accepting, pending board approval tonight, to come into this community and jump on this vision of where we want to go with our athletic programs. So, Matt, you want to hire him and then let him speak, or you want to?
I think that would probably be a good idea. We do the formal process first, and then we'd love to hear more. So, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve Matt Thompson as the high school athletic director effective July 1st, 2024, subject to finalizing contract terms and other statutory requirements. We will also offer 20 per diem days to work with the current AD prior to July 1st, 2024. So do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Steve, second by Andrew, roll call.
Jane, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes. Okay.
No, we're excited for the opportunity. I'd like to thank the committee for, giving us this opportunity, and for you guys. Not a lot of administration would take a couple hours out of a Saturday evening, a week and a half ago to meet my wife and I, and even offer the next day, which was a Sunday, to bring the boys over. We had other obligations, so we weren't able to make it, but just that willingness to provide that opportunity for us was pretty outstanding, and you don't see that a lot of places. I've been a handful of different places. I've been at Robinson 18 years. We'll continue at Robinson for the next 6 months or so. Actually, we have a basketball game tomorrow evening. We get Champaign Central over at St. Anthony, but we're looking forward to the opportunity. I've always felt like Effingham High School is kind of like a diamond in the rough, to where it's never really quite met the potential that I think is there, and we're excited to kind of be a part of that. And in 9.5 years, or 10 or so when I retired, I really believe that this is going to be a better place because of our time here, not just my time, but my family's time, here in the community. And we're looking forward to it. And some of us are taking a little longer to come around than others. They'll get there though. They're good kids. They love their buddies back home. But like I said, we're excited with the move forward, and I'd like to thank you guys for the trust in us, and looking forward to working with the potential junior high ED. I won't go there just yet. You guys do. Thank you. Like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to getting started as soon as possible. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that anybody might have.
I have a statement, actually. You look good in red.
Well, everybody kept telling me, they said, that's really a weird color for you. Well, I grew up in Marshall, so I was red and white all the way through high school and whatnot. So I said and then I coached at Lincoln Land Community College, which was red, and a little bit of blue, which we won't talk about that. No, it's exciting.
So who's your family, if you don't mind?
Okay, this is my wife, Brandy. We were married 23 years, going on 24, so she's put up with me a very, very long time. My oldest son is Duke. He's a senior at Robinson, one of our basketball players, and a member of the tennis team as well. 7th grade son, Dag. He's a member of the baseball team and basketball team, and I think he has future hopes of playing some football at some point, but we'll see. And then my son Deke is a 6th grader, Robinson. He's a cross-country runner, basketball player, baseball player. Zach does not like cross-country though. Yeah, I haven't reminded him yet that we have a turkey trot to run on Thanksgiving morning. So this is my way of reminding them that they have a turkey trot, a little Toys for Tot 5K that we run every couple of days. So they're gonna be really excited about that. So anyways, we bring a couple dogs to the community as well. We got a couple pups at home and even a couple turtles that we got from Florida about 5 years ago that we thought surely would be not with us anymore. But he will outlive us. Brian likes to couple pet turtles. We got an aquarium, we got a whole shebang, so you're more than welcome. So.
Well, welcome Thompson family.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
You want to take a picture of me?
Yeah, want to get your picture and then I want to go with your family too.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna hit the side. Yeah, you're standing right for that. Perfect. Like, there and for now, okay? Perfect. Okay, then bring your family in. Ready? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I want to make sure, we're right around some tonight. This all fits your fingers. So it's amazing. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome around.
All right. Appreciate it. Okay, let's move on to our second one, and second family. They're not moving quite as far. Which is okay too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Next on the agenda is the approve of our hire of our Effingham Junior High School Athletic Director effective July 1st, 2024. And I'll turn that over to Andy so he can introduce.
So it's interesting in this world of athletics that I don't know, and Vince and I didn't really talk about this, but I think my first meeting with you was probably, what was your first year at Brownstown?
2009.
9? Okay, so 9, 10. I moved to T-Town to be athletic director there, and we sat at the same meetings for a little while. So that was my first encounter. That I think. First of all, I didn't think I was ever dumb enough to be a superintendent, so I'm just saying. But I am, obviously, so I'm there. But just has been a really neat experience to interview Vince, get to know Vince more. Knew Taryn from, Vince was a little bit involved, but Taryn was more involved, I do believe, back when we started our strategic plan last fall. So knew the family, and knew their around, knew their kiddos, of course. So really has been a great opportunity to get to know them even more through this interview process. And Vince comes to us with 14, 15 years experience as an athletic director, heavily involved in sports, does lots and lots of great things over at Brownstown. And the expectation level, honestly, with the two of them coming is, and we've talked through a little bit of it, but my vision is to offer more sports, to offer more opportunities, and honestly to, as we've already kind of started, a no-cut policy up through high school, hopefully, probably even the junior year. So create B teams, and start 5th and 6th grade, and start 4th grade, whatever we've got to go do. I really want the emphasis moving forward in this district to be a couple-fold. Number one is for kids to be involved, okay? There's a lot of correlation to kids being involved in activities and having good test scores and having good experiences in school and looking forward to coming in the next day. So that's on the radar. And then the second piece of that is the sportsmanship side. Really, as I alluded to earlier, and we've talked about that a lot with these two gentlemen as we've interviewed, our expectations really truly are going to even go to a higher level. You know, if you want to come to a ball game and yell obscenities and things like that, you're leaving. That's not what we're about. And we're really going to have more eyes on the ground and more opportunities for the future. So that's kind of the vision that this board has supported me and us working together to move forward to be in the position that we're in today. So Vince is gonna do that at the 8th grade level down. I did the 5th and 6th grade right now, boys and girls, me, because I didn't want to put on a date because he's got plenty on his plate. That's gonna be Vince's next year, I think we'll hand it off to you. Not really, I love every ounce of what I'm doing. Met with the volleyball coach the other day with 5th and 6th grade plans for the volleyball coming out as well. That'll be something else that Vince gets to be a part of, so really excited for Vince to join the district and bring his expertise here, so.
So we'll make it official,
Yeah,
right? We'll make it official and then we'll get to hear more. So I'm asking for a motion and a second to approve Vince Rohr as the junior high athletic director effective July 1st, 2024, subject to finalizing contract terms and other statutory requirements. We will also offer 20 per diem days to work with the current AD prior to July 1st, 2024.
Make it.
Motion by Jane,
Second.
second by Andrew, roll call.
Tisha.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Jane, yes.
Yay.
Yay, congratulations. I didn't add it either that Vince is an Effingham grad.
Nice, yes. When did you graduate?
2003.
Doesn't. And he's also the self-proclaimed greatest point guard in the NBA. I've heard of it.
I
He hit the free throw.
He hit every,
He hit every.
he hit every.
So, yeah, Effingham grad, and I can't tell you how awesome of an opportunity this is to, be working somewhere else for a while, gaining some experience, and then be able to come back to my own community, and try and play a larger role than what I've been able to do for the past several years. This is the community I live in, I grew up in. I met my high school sweetheart, raising a couple kids, played a little bit of basketball back in the day, like you mentioned. So I can't tell you how much it means for you guys to allow me to come back home and also have a future back where I started. So it's an awesome experience. It's been kind of a whirlwind the last couple of weeks, just thinking about the possibilities. I'm probably the fourth happiest person about this because I know my wife is really excited that I don't have to drive every day. And my kids have been telling me for years I need to get a job here, so after school they can come to my office, things like that. So not only am I really excited, but I know you've got 3 people over there that are also extremely excited for me to be a larger part of this community. And through the whole process, just like Max said, I've been blown away with the administration, things they're saying, doing, offering. I feel like my characteristics and my personality and beliefs match what their goals are. So I think this is going to be a great fit. It's been really nice to meet Mac and hear him talk about what his plans are and what he likes to do or wants to do. So I'm just excited to get on board and start to grow and build what Mr. Wolfman has been doing the last 25 years. So very good. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Might be some people that don't know.
That's true. So this is my high school sweetheart, and I couldn't tell you how long we've been married, but I know we started dating in about 2002. This is my daughter Kimberly. She's in 5th grade over at Central. Currently on the 5th and 6th grade basketball team. So whenever she heard or saw Mr. Johnson coming through the hallways, promoting the 5th and 6th, she definitely knew that and was very excited. So thank you for that. This is Kate. He is in 7th grade at the junior high. He plays basketball, baseball, and has been doing track since last year. So that's the crew.
Awesome.
Okay, and then your parents? Did you agree? Do you know? You all right? Okay.
So we have the rulers as well. The girls shop, this is a guy shop, so. There's not a huge selection in town, so we're going to work on that.
It's nice to replace the little.
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back. Congratulations. See you on the golf course.
Let's give it a future of athletics around the. Thank you all.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of hard-to-fill position for high school computer science position. So we added all these computer science courses, and it's hard to find computer science teachers. So I'm going to turn this part over to you.
I don't know when it was established, we have a hard to fill position process in this district. You help me,
It's about 2 or 3 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago.
I think it was with the last certified
Negotiations.
so however long ago that was.
Basically, it's an agreement that the union and the school district coming together with for situations where we don't have applicants that are qualified for positions, so that somebody in the district could potentially take that position, not be qualified, and we help them get qualified and pay for it. That a good way to put it?
Perfect.
All right. So there's your answer.
So we have posted for a computer science teacher and have been unsuccessful hiring one. So it has now been deemed as hard to fill. So now that it's deemed hard to fill, we may have some internal applicants that are willing to get their certification. So is there any questions or comments? So I'm seeking a motion and a second to approve the high school computer science hard-to-fill position agreement.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Bishop,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Jane, yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of the financial software program.
Yeah, so we've researched several different companies looking into what different financial software would provide for us. I believe we found one that meets all of our needs and then some. So this software will help us to be able to project. So if you guys are looking at what a potential position addition would cost and then where it would be in 3 years from now, I could do that with this software. It'll assist with our quarterly updates. It'll help me managing and monitoring the budget throughout the school year. So we're looking at a software from Frontline Education, and a 3.5-year agreement would be a total cost of $81,103.28. There's more information in your packet if you want to look at that more.
So, and you have selected one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's Analytic Solutions Software from Frontline Education.
And it's actually 3 packages in one program, so it'll do, as you just stated, right?
Yeah, it'll do projections, it'll be able to do comparisons with other districts in the state, and it will also help with our budgeting monitoring process.
Do we use any sort of software now, or is it all?
No, it's all by hand, so it's all on me to be able to try to project and use spreadsheets and stuff, so yeah. It's pretty time
I
consuming.
don't know why you need it. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
That's why we started with it, I said, whoa.
Yeah, right, I can't imagine running a business without some sort of
Can you imagine?
software program.
And just so you know, it aligns with the strategic plan, that we did have some pieces in the strategic plan about developing budgets, preparing and presenting budget projections. Honestly, I'm gonna fall behind because the goal was December 20th. We got out of the gate late on this one. So we're shooting for right now, January, that once we have this in place, if you approve it tonight, they've told us that we can get these projections and have a lot of data ready for presenting purposes at the January board meeting. So I'll check my box here and change it to January, and we can put a plus in it sometime. But, So like, that, you know, again, that's something that, in my opinion, Chad has brought to the forefront since I've been here. And this gives us an opportunity. Honestly, I think it's a great time to do it, because as she's taking financial classes right now and going through a lot of this building, she's not coming in with another software that she's already been down. This is gonna be a brand new software. I tried to go down this road at Jasper County, and I didn't have a second person, and we bought the software and we didn't use it, just because I couldn't find the time that it takes to do it. So once that's in place, I honestly believe you'll be highly impressed. It will help us drive decision-making in the future, rather than thinking that a $50,000 added person, you know, add personnel and costs us $50,000, what does that mean down the road? Right now, we're not really showing a lot of that, so we want to make those decisions and come to you and say, hey, we're gonna buy a $100,000 backhoe instead of a $50,000 backhoe, here's what that means. Okay, because we don't have a surplus of pot that's infinite, so it'll help us drive the ship on making some of those decisions.
Does it come with training too?
Yes.
And actually stay in your consultant space tied with you throughout.
Throughout the whole 3.5
Be able
years.
to call them and get,
Sweet.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion, a second, to approve the district to move forward with purchasing the Analytics Solution software program from Frontline Education. This will be a 3.5-year agreement with a total cost of $81,103.28.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Jessica.
Yes.
I'm also glad we will be paying for a portion of this. I'm not sure how much exactly, but we'll pay it out of the administrative cap line. We've got to there's someone to do more consulting this year, and that's not happening, so there'll be a little bit of money that could probably, that'll take care of this year for sure. We might even get into paying 2 or 3 years of it this first year, so that that's out of the way. So anyway, it should be able to fall into the budget this year, really.
Okay. Okay, at this time, we're ready to go to closed session. I'm looking for a motion, a second, to enter into closed session.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Andrew, roll call.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Jessica.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay, so this is-